Okay, so get this. 1,000 robot army.
Whoa.
But this isn't some sci-fi thing.
Right.
We're talking reality.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's this article from a Spanish news site.
Okay.
It's called Noticias de Guipúzcoa.
Okay.
And it was published just a few days ago on January 31st, 2025.
Very recent.
Yeah, and it talks about this Chinese company,
Okay.
Agibot, and they're mass producing humanoid robots.
Humanoid robot.
With AI brains.
Wow. So this is not just like cool technology.
No.
This is like a potential game changer.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we're doing a deep dive on it.
Right.
So what I found really fascinating is
Yeah.
Agibot's ambition, right?
Yeah.
1,000 robots. Like that's
Yeah.
not just research. That's
Yeah.
about creating a workforce.
Yeah, they're aiming to like integrate these robots into homes and industries.
Wow.
They could potentially even outpace Tesla in humanoid robot production.
That's a bold move. So who are these robots?
Yeah.
The article mentions a few different models.
Yeah. So they started with the Raise A.
Okay.
And that one was designed as a robotic housekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is it was conceived as like a rival to Tesla's Optimus.
Oh, really?
So they were clearly aiming to surpass Optimus in terms of affordability and practicality.
So you're saying they wanted a robot that could like handle chores and stuff.
Yeah.
But also at a price point where it could compete with like
Exactly.
hiring a person.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But the model they've chosen for mass production is the Raise A1.
Okay.
This one's more versatile. It's designed for both business solutions and domestic tasks.
So that means it can do like infrastructure maintenance, transportation, as well as the household chores.
Exactly.
So it's like the multi-tool of robots.
Mhm.
What can it actually do?
Well, it can reach speeds up to 7 kilometers per hour.
7 kilometers an hour.
Yeah,
That's pretty zippy for a robot.
it is.
I mean, could it keep up with a delivery person on foot or?
Potentially, yeah.
Really?
That kind of speed combined with its carrying capacity.
Oh, yeah, it can carry things.
Yeah, it can carry 5 kilograms in each hand.
Okay, so this is like a
Yeah.
real workhorse.
It's designed to be.
That's incredible.
And we haven't even touched on how they're training these robots.
Oh, yeah. How are they training them?
They've created this thing called a data collection factory,
What?
which essentially feeds real-world information into the AI,
Oh, wow.
and that drives its learning.
So it's not just pre-programmed.
No.
It's constantly learning.
Yes, constantly learning from real-world experiences.
What kind of data are we talking about?
Well, the article doesn't give specifics.
Okay.
I think it's safe to assume that it's a combination of visual audio and sensory inputs.
So the more varied the data,
Right.
the better the AI can adapt to different situations and environments.
Yes.
But there's one more thing that really blew my mind.
What's that?
The robots are actually assembling other robots.
I know.
Robots building robots.
That sounds like the start of some sci-fi uprising,
It does.
not a business model.
But it's a pretty powerful statement to Agibot's commitment to automation.
Right. The article highlights that these robots are involved in the assembly process and quality control.
Wow.
So essentially, they're creating a self-sustaining production cycle.
So it's not just that they're making robots.
Yeah.
It's that they've created a system where the robots can build and maybe even repair themselves.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
It is a glimpse into the future of manufacturing,
Yeah.
where human intervention becomes less and less necessary.
Okay, so they have robots building robots. How many have they actually built so far?
Well, as of the article's publication, they had built 962 humanoid robots,
962.
each one equipped with advanced AI and sensors.
And what's the cost?
Well, the Raise A1 model,
The one they're mass producing.
yes, that one is priced at 26,300 euros.
That's a pretty hefty price tag.
It is.
But I guess if it can do all the things we've been talking about,
Right.
maybe it is a worthwhile investment.
Especially for businesses looking to automate.
Right.
And it's important to note that the article mentions the robots have a modular system,
Okay.
which means that their components can be easily swapped or upgraded for different tasks.
Oh, so you're not just buying one robot for one job.
Exactly.
You're buying a platform
Right.
that can be adapted to different needs.
It's like a Swiss Army knife of robots.
Wow. You could have one for cleaning, one for warehouse work, one for, I mean, the possibilities seem endless.
Precisely.
So Agibot is making waves, but they're not alone in this race.
Right. The article also mentions a competitor,
Oh, really?
PUDU Robotics,
Okay.
and they've developed the PUDU D9,
The what?
the D9.
Okay.
It's a bipedal robot that's specifically designed for hospitals.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Agibot is targeting more general applications, while PUDU is focusing on a specific sector.
Yeah.
What can this PUDU robot do that's so special for hospitals?
It's got advanced navigation capabilities, robotic arms,
Okay.
and the ability to interact with humans using tactile, auditory, and visual sensors.
So imagine a robot that can not only deliver medications, but also provide basic assistance and even comfort to patients.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
It seems like both companies are really pushing the boundaries of what's possible with robotics, but in very different ways.
Absolutely.
Agibot's approach is about versatility and scalability, but PUDU is focused on creating robots that can integrate into complex human environments.
Like hospitals.
Yeah, so we've got robots for homes, businesses, hospitals.
It seems like no industry is safe from the robot revolution.
Right.
It does make you wonder, as these robots become more sophisticated and capable, what does that mean for the future of human jobs?
That's a big question.
It is.
It's both exciting and a little unnerving.
Yeah.
I guess we need to dive a little deeper into those implications. But first, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned so far about Agibot and their 1,000-robot army.
Right. Yeah, it's a topic that definitely sparks a lot of debate. Some experts are saying that automation could lead to a lot of people losing their jobs.
Yeah, especially in manufacturing and stuff.
Right, in industries where you see a lot of repetitive tasks,
Yeah.
those are the ones that are most at risk.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if a robot can build a car and then make me a latte, what's left for us humans?
Right, it's not necessarily about humans becoming obsolete, though.
Okay.
I mean, look at history. When we've had technological advancements, they've often led to new jobs.
Oh, that's true. Like
the invention of the automobile.
Yeah.
That put carriage makers and stable workers out of business.
Right.
But it also created tons of new jobs in manufacturing, transportation, all those related industries.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of being scared of robots taking over, we should be thinking about how all of this is going to change the job market.
Exactly.
So what kind of jobs do you think will be in high demand in this new world with all these robots?
Well, as automation handles more of those routine tasks, the focus is going to shift to jobs that need those unique human skills.
Okay, so what things like creativity?
Things like creativity, critical thinking, complex problem solving, emotional intelligence.
Oh, okay.
Those are all areas where humans still have a big advantage over machines.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So it's not about being replaced, it's about adapting.
Right.
Instead of welding parts on an assembly line, maybe we'll be designing those robots or managing those AI systems.
Right. It's a chance to upskill and reskill and develop the things that make us human.
It's like automation could free us from the boring stuff.
Right.
And then we can focus on more meaningful work.
Exactly.
That's definitely a more optimistic way to look at it.
Right.
Instead of robots stealing our jobs, maybe they're freeing us up to follow our passions and contribute in new ways.
Exactly.
But I mean, there are going to be challenges.
Oh, absolutely.
We need to figure out how to retrain people, make sure everybody has access to these new opportunities, and handle any economic disruption that happens.
All very important things to consider.
It's a lot to think about.
It is.
On the one hand, robots could really improve our lives and help make things more efficient.
Right.
But there are real concerns about what this means for jobs and society in general.
Yeah, it's a balancing act for sure. But one thing's for certain, the rise of robots is going to keep shaping our world.
Yeah, in big ways.
Yeah.
So what does this mean for our listeners?
Well, I think the big takeaway is that the future isn't set in stone.
Okay.
We can shape the way technology impacts us. If we understand the good and the bad of automation, we can make smart choices about how to use it.
So it's not about being afraid of the future.
Yeah.
It's about being informed.
Exactly.
So what are some things people can do to prepare for this future?
Well, one of the best things you can do is embrace lifelong learning.
Okay.
Figure out what skills are going to be in high demand and start learning them now.
That's good advice.
Yeah, explore online courses, workshops, find mentors. There's so many resources available.
Yeah, it's not about waiting for the future to happen to us. It's about taking control and creating the future we want.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of critical thinking and just being able to adapt.
Yeah.
I mean, technology is changing faster and faster, so being able to learn new things and adjust to new situations is essential.
This has been a really incredible deep dive.
It has.
We've gone from Agibot's 1,000-robot army to thinking about what it means to work and be human in a world that's becoming more and more automated.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have, and it's clear that we've only scratched the surface.
Yeah, there's so much more to explore.
There is, but before we go to part 3, I want to leave our listener with one final thought.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about how robots are becoming more like humans, but what about the other way around?
What do you mean?
As we interact more and more with these really complex machines, could our idea of what it means to be human actually start to change?
That's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
Could we start to see ourselves as more machine-like?
Yeah. Or could robots start to develop qualities that we usually think of as being human?
It's definitely something to think about. The lines between humans and machines are becoming less clear. And that brings up some really big questions about who we are and what the future holds for our species.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack.
It is.
So it seems like the rise of robots isn't just a technological shift. It's making us rethink what it means to be human in this new age of AI.
Exactly. And as we move forward into this unknown territory, the most important question we can ask ourselves isn't what will the robots do?
Right.
But who do we want to be?
That's a powerful thought.
It is.
We've explored the rise of Agibot's 1,000 robot army, talked about what it means for the workforce and how we need to adapt in this changing world. But in the end, the future isn't something that just happens to us.
Right.
We create it.
I agree.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to encourage our listeners to keep thinking about these things, have conversations about the role of technology, and help build the future you want to see.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
We were just talking about how interacting with these robots could change how we see ourselves as humans.
Yeah.
It's a pretty crazy idea.
It is. We often talk about robots being more like humans.
Right.
But what if it goes both ways? Like, think about empathy and creativity, even our imperfections. As robots start to show those things, it really makes us think about what makes us different.
So you're saying robots could actually make us more human?
Exactly. Yeah. By almost mirroring us, they force us to really look at our own values and where we fit in the world.
And as they become more a part of our lives, this back and forth is only going to get stronger.
Right. We might even find ourselves questioning what we thought we knew about intelligence and consciousness.
It's like science fiction is becoming a way to explore these big philosophical questions.
And it's not just theoretical anymore.
No.
We're already dealing with ethical issues around AI and robots in the real world.
Like what kinds of things?
Questions about how to use them responsibly.
Okay.
How to prevent bias in AI systems. These are really important conversations we need to have.
We have to be careful about what we build into these technologies.
Exactly.
So it seems like all of this isn't just a technological shift.
No,
it's making us rethink what it means to be human in this new age of AI.
And the answers won't come from the robots themselves.
Right.
They'll come from us.
We need to talk about these things and work together to guide the future we want.
Absolutely.
This has been a really amazing deep dive.
It has.
We've gone from 1,000 robot army to the core of what it means to be human.
And it's really just the beginning.
Yeah.
AI is going to keep advancing and bring even bigger questions. But our listeners should remember, they have a role to play in shaping this future.
Don't just watch it happen, right?
Right.
Get involved. Ask questions. Make your voice heard.
We create the future, doesn't create us.
Exactly. So to our listeners, keep exploring these ideas, talk to each other, and help build the future you want to see. And that wraps up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of robots, AI, and the future of our species. Until next time, keep diving deep.